Okay, so today we're going to be talking about information processing. And the way I did my newspaper article is I kind of was taking the reader through the steps of information processing by describing them as they read what their brain was doing. Starting with the computers have taken over. That's the big headline, and the pictures. I was trying to get the attention of the reader, which is how it all starts with information processing. You have an input processing, and that's basically the stimuli. A stimuli grabs your attention, and you start to process it. In this case, it was the big headline and then the pictures. And then I continue on with the article and I start saying, well, now this part of this experience is going to be stored somewhere. And essentially, I was saying, describing that this could be stored in an embarrassing moment because I fooled you into believing that computers were taking over. Obviously, that's not the case. It was just me trying to prove a point. So this can be this is where that information can be processed and stored. And then I go on to the output process. And that's basically how you respond to something. And I essentially said that, well, you might be embarrassed because you were fooled. And I go on to say that, again, I'm sorry for trying to fool you. And then I go on to saying that what you're doing at the moment, what the reader is doing at the moment, is serial processing, as in you are choosing to focus on this article only as you're reading it. But then I go on to say, if you are choosing to read this article, but then your brain is doing a whole bunch of other things at the same time, that's parallel processing. That means that sure, you're focusing on this, but you're also focusing on other things. And I essentially said how that was rude and you should be paying attention to this article only. And then up here, I just added the other information about information processing, which is attention, perception, short-term memory, and input data, and I put what it was. And then over here on these little top parts, I talk about multiple intelligence. And multiple intelligence basically says that different people have different strengths, and based on those strengths, educators should change the way they teach, just depending on the audience that they have. And then over here, I described the 8 types of intelligence. So essentially what I did with this article was try to be informative by describing the process step by step as the reader was going through it. And